Because I'm sure there's stuff I'm supposed to be pressing.
You mean they let you run
They
this thing
should.
and not tell you how to do it?
Well,
Who's the technical director? I want to have
I'm
words.
sure. I'm sure they showed me at least once. I just don't remember.
No, they should have let you do it on the other ones and just let you hit the buttons and make sure the
But
buttons are hit properly. I'm gonna laugh if this is
yeah.
actually live on Twitch right now and like people are
Oh
hearing me
no, it
rant
is.
about this.
It is. It
Oh,
really
cool.
is. We are
Put
live.
that in the blooper reel, folks. Whoops. Anyway,
We don't
hello.
have any viewers right now, but we are in fact live.
Oh well. This can go in the blooper reel for sure.
time for me to hop into that chat. So that way I can annoy you guys in chat and in person.
Yay! That's my favorite.
I live with you. I
Yeah,
just
so I
want you
can
to know
annoy you in
that.
3 ways.
So yeah, I'll make them show me how to do it again. Um, because I don't
For the,
remember
Look, it's above my pay grade. I just play here.
this. This is what happens when being my technology is somebody else's job.
Well, at least it doesn't glitch out on you like it does a Sombra.
Oh, hey, I found it. Okay, are we are we ready to do this anyway? Because I found the thing. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Welcome to Philly by Night. And yes, I know we've been live for 3 minutes, and that is just barely through the introductory bit, but I forgot how to do most of the technical stuff. And this evening, this is a one goon show, and I am that goon. So there's just going to be a lot of stuff we're just going to have to put up with. That said, this evening, we join our emissary coterie already in progress. They've been given their next, shall we say, assignment, looking into the Rivers Casino, which, given the amount of time they've been in the city, our Ventru flavored gangrel already has a certain percentage of ownership in. Isn't that convenient? The Rivers Casino used to be owned by the former Prince of Philadelphia and changed hands right around the time of the current Prince of Philadelphia's little coup. This change of ownership tends to make things a little dicey. Uh, in character date is the 3rd of June, which means it is still the hungry times in the city of Philadelphia. At least it is for those religious zealots. Still, that said, this restructuring of management seemed to correspond with the restructuring of management for the casinos. How strange. It does tend to suggest certain things. So, what harm could possibly come from checking out who has the actual ownership of the Rivers Hotel and Casino? We begin our night with some folks waking up hungry and some folks waking up just flippin' fine. Our hungry serpent, how is it that you managed to feed yourself this evening?
um, he has a herd, but because of how hungry he is, he very much went to hunt in the nightclub that he acquired when he got here. Um, yeah, that's what he did.
That's not usually particularly wise, is it?
Nope, but he wasn't risking killing one of his herd because that's more important in the long term.
Yeah. And at least the dice agreed with you that we were going to go ahead and just let you eat and not commit murder.
Hmm. Yep,
So two thumbs, way, way up.
surely.
Although,
Hmm.
serpent, so like thumbs?
Snaky thumb. Yes.
So, Sharky, 10% ownership in a casino.
Well, taking advantage of certain market regulations and calling your banking contact and maybe having him pull some strings to get uh uh loans for shares in uh loans for shares in uh uh loans for shares in casinos interest rates changed on a class basis by increasing their risk is pretty useful for getting retail investors to sell. So getting a getting a few shares in the casino wasn't too hard to do.
No, and having that level of stake in the casino means that you would have some fairly decent access to certain financial records, including the other individuals who have a share and a stake in the casino.
Ooh. So who do
So, if you were going to try to ascertain what you can find out from those records, what method might you use?
well, obviously, Sharky probably doesn't know the mask name of every kindred in the city. That would just be silly. But somebody does. Uh, somebody who you know somebody who might be like a harpy. So
You would be aware of the harpy. You would even be aware of how to contact the harpy.
he's gonna have that in his back pocket, but he's gonna go through and look through and see if there's any members who own a significant stake in the casino who seem a little off. Search for their social media presences if he can't find anything. Uh, you know, well, he won't search for his social media presences. That's just silly. He's actually going to hand it off to his banking contact and say, "Hey, who are these people? Uh, can you give me a credit score background check on them uh, to figure
There's
out?"
not a whole lot in the realm of credit scores or social media presence, although there is something there about a gentleman that goes by the mononym the sommelier.
Hmm, intriguing in a not good way. He seems to be somebody who we might know. He's going to put that in his back pocket as he's, flipping through his stuff because Jamie's the Jamie's the type of guy who doesn't really uh, look at things like that in terms of business records are usually not something that should be overlooked because people are supposed to use their real names for legal reasons. And so if that's down on a business record, somebody's hiding something and is not doing a very good job of it. Um, so he's going to note that down as somebody who needs to be watched. And then what he's probably going to do from there is look to see what other assets they have in the city, if there's other assets in the city that are under the name of the sommelier, to see if he can sort of find a holdings company that he can look into.
There are a couple of other partnerships that are associated to the sommelier.
Interesting.
One of them is Orthea LLC. Another is Polaris Holdings.
Polaris Holdings. We've talked about those. Hmm. Another name Sharky's going to sort of take down for once he gets with his coterie. That's the word. Uh, for once he gets with his coterie, he's still not used to using that word. Um, being gangrel and all. Uh,
It's the pack. It's fine.
it's the pack. Once he gets with his coterie, to see if they can make heads or tails of it. Sharky's got a lot of this information, but uh he doesn't know necessarily everything that it means off the top of what he's looking at. Because Sharky's smart, he's very intelligent, he's a very intelligent man, but he's not well, he's also pretty perceptive. Um but he's not
But he can't pull context out of nowhere.
Yeah, he can't pull context out of nowhere, and he's smart enough to realize that just because something looks fishy, that doesn't mean that everything is going to fall into place as he's expecting it to.
Yeah.
So he's gonna step back, though he is going to look into Polaris Holdings and try to figure out, that stuff, but he's gonna save that for when we talk with the lovely, lovely Coterie members.
Okay, lovely, lovely Coterie members. I'm going to skip the travel sequence and have you all just kind of meet at Rivers. So Sharky has managed to manifest a VIP room out of thin air, which is something that one can do when one has 10% stake in a casino.
Could
Got
could
some
Shark
nice digs here.
some pretty high
Yeah,
stakes
it's really
digging.
nice.
Could Sharky have procured some blood wine for this?
Yes.
Okay, then Sharky's gonna be having a glass of blood wine, sitting with his feet up, uh, in at one of the VIP tables in the VIP room that he's had, as he's sort of uh as he's sort of swirling his glass like a very wealthy person does when they're thinking. Um, so Dr. Beck, Mr. Vanguard, how do you like the room?
It's swanky, that's for
I
sure.
mean, I'm not quite a fan of these lights, but other than that, I think it'd be all right.
Yes, indeed. You can thank Caesars for it. They're running into a bit of economic trouble, and thanks to that, well, let's just say casinos are no longer as safe an investment to the banks anymore.
All right then. In all honesty,
Could be a little bit more dimly. Could be a little bit more dimly lit for my taste, but I suppose to each their own. Kind of is avoiding the awkward LED lights and things like that because he is a snake and lights bad.
Well,
no offense, Mr. Sharkey. All this high society stuff, it means little to me.
well, many, many years ago, it didn't mean much to me anyways. I just had money, but these days, you get used to you get used to having things. Sharky's gonna throw down his files that he has on the table. The owners of this casino, as they are now, seems to be a man by the name of the Sommelier. He holds a significant holding, more than I was able to get a hold of. It seems like, you know, he's actually capable of making a bit more of a wave than I can. I don't know who the Sommelier is, but I think there may be some evidence of some of the companies that he holds, which are two: Polaris Holdings and Orthea LLC.
Does Ashton, with his many dots as he has in occult, recognize the Orthea?
Yes, he would. He would recognize it as a Ventru blood cult.
And possibly a bloodline that the cult has. Okay.
Yep, yep, yep.
And then, real quick, would he be able to 2 plus 2 equals Chair Polaris? It's a reference to the sun and maybe has something to do with Mithras.
With another blood cult? Gasp.
Yeah. Okay.
Though Polaris is the North
Interest.
Star, not the sun.
It's a star, is the idea. You all in your blood cults. I'll have none of that, thank you. Anyway.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Look.
Okay.
We're not going to go there today. But anyway, he's going to look that over. He's going to point to the Orthea. Um, well, that is a blood cult and a bloodline. How much information would he know about the cult of Orthea?
He would know that they are Ventru Sabbat hunters and that they are almost strictly martial.
Interesting enough, they're a group of martial Sabbat hunting Ventru.
Hmm. How interesting. That is. Well, ain't that just concerning? I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
lovely.
Anyway, yes. The second one has to do with potentially the Mithraians.
The Mithraians. Ah, that's the prince's little group.
Correct.
Interesting.
Indeed.
So perhaps it's a joint holding then.
That would explain why they were able to get so much at one time without much effort.
Hmm. Perhaps to a degree. Though, if the two companies are that influential, then what they own. It doesn't make sense why the prince would be hiding what Polaris Holdings owns if they're really his. If it's really his little company, he'd be more open about it. Because it's not as if anyone can take it from him.
Can I get a wits and intel?
From everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
And does anybody have Spanish on their sheets as their second language?
I don't think I put down a second language on my sheets, but Sharky
I don't
is
think
actually Hispanic, so it would make sense.
Dr. Beck
I
is
don't
Spaniard.
I don't think I gave him any languages. Just I'm about to fix that after this because he should know at least 3.
Mwah.
So
And you
that
said
is
wits and intelligence,
Yee.
with or without hunger, G'day.
With.
Okay.
4. And we'll say that because I never gave him a second language, we'll say that Sharky's second language is Spanish. Because that makes sense.
This is either gonna go really bad or really well, y'all. I'm so sorry. Oh, 3. 3.
Okay. What'd you get, Beck?
2.
Okay. Uh, y'all seem to remember the Lord Bridgerton referring to Senor Santiago's childer as Estrella. The star.
Hmm. So then this is intriguing.
I Can someone tell me what that word means in Spanish? I'd never picked up that. Learned quite a bit in my time, but not Spanish, and it's quite a shame. I probably should go back and learn.
Estrella. It means the star.
Well, Polaris is a star.
So it's either the Prince's Holdings or the Seneschal's holding, or not Seneschal's, the Keeper of Elysium's holdings. Makes more sense it would be the Keeper of Elysium's, which means she's probably here now, listening to us.
Would you like to roll a
Probably.
wits and awareness?
I will roll that.
I will also roll that, because Sharky, that is not a bad pool for Sharky.
Ashton's just here to be pretty and avoid the fluorescent lighting because, God, it's awful.
You got a 2?
Mm-hmm. It's probably not that bad. It's a casino. It's probably very dimly lit. Do you know what happens in these VIP rooms?
I
No.
also got a 2.
No, I do not know what happens in these VIP rooms.
I don't want to explain it.
I'm from Las Vegas.
Okay, then you know exactly what happens in these VIP rooms. I did
That
not know
was
that.
sarcasm.
He doesn't know what that means. That's a big word for him.
That is
That-
a big word for Elmo.
That is a big word for Elmo. So, with a 2, it's super dimly lit. It's pretty dim. Um,
Does it
the
lower?
the walls are super damp, so it would not be completely beyond the pale that there might be critters hiding up in there, or fungus growing behind some of the permanent paintings.
Ah, we're fine.
We're fine. We're fine. Fine. But then again, it
No, I
is a
suppose there is
commonly.
also another.
Go ahead.
I suppose there is another thing. Maybe it's not the people who own the
Oh.
biggest stakes are the ones we're looking for to begin with.
Hmm.
Maybe someone's trying to weasel their way into taking over the casino, and that's who we're actually looking for, Sharky.
Well, then I just made it easier for them because all the retail investors are going to be fleeing, but I also bought up a large percentage, so I made it easier and harder. If they were paying attention, it was easier, but more than likely they weren't at the time, and I caught it before they could.
Or, alternatively, we keep track of any new investments in the area. Maybe someone increasing their shares that has these references. Is there any way you could monitor that to keep a constant tab on it?
Hmm. Now that I'm 10% holder, I can keep an eye on the financial records. I mean, I don't have enough of a share to be on the board like I am at the other, uh, like I am at the other casino in town. In fact, I own enough shares in the other casino that I am doing quite well for myself. But this one, I own enough shares that I could at least get access to any and all financial records, and or most financial records. So I could potentially see something like that. You know, wait, Sharky has a southern accent. Why have I been speaking British? Uh, you know, I've I don't have a I don't have enough of a share to like own the business, but I've got enough of a share to see what's going on. So I'll focus a little bit on keeping track. I need to hire some people to do that for me.
I mean, aren't you rich? Shouldn't that not be an issue? I'm
Well,
surprised you don't already have people, Sharky.
I mean, I did, but most of those people were liquidated when I moved here.
That is an interesting way to put that for someone who eats people.
Can I
They were
insight check him? I really need to get him a subtext specialty.
Sharky is you can you can definitely try to insight check me. I'm not very good at resisting.
6 with a crit?
I'm should I roll should I even roll? I mean, I can technically potentially win.
It is all up to you, fam.
Nah, it ain't worth it.
I mean, is Sharky. Yeah. Your luck? We'd be here all night at that point.
It can be assumed that Sharky didn't eat all of his uh former retainers, just the ones who knew too much.
So, yes, Om Nom.
So yeah, Om Nom, they were liquidated.
Nom nom nom.
Ash is going to look over at Sharky. Well, at least I hope some of them tasted really good. It would be quite a waste.
Some of them did. Some of them were very, very melancholic. It was very unfortunate. You know, day-to-day office jobs. It is what it is, you know.
That's why I keep to the clubs and the casinos myself. That's much more lively.
Mm.
Where did Dr. Beck go off to?
Dr.
Oh,
Beck's just
I'm
wandering
I'm
around.
over here. I'm just looking at these little fancy doodads here on the shelves.
Find any interesting doodads over there, Dr. Beck?
Well, some of them are peculiarly shaped, but nah, none of them are anatomically correct in any kind of sense.
Knock, 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 knock.
Is there a peephole?
Yeah.
Who's on the other side of the peephole? Ash would look before opening the door.
On the other side of the peephole is a rather handsome African American gentleman who looks suspiciously like Chadwick Boseman.
He's gonna look over at Sharky, kind of walk back over, lean down in his ear. Go check and see who's at the door. I don't think we know who that is.
Routes for feral weapons, specifically fangs.
Is
don't
this
think
like a
you're going to
just in
have to-
case measure?
This is a just in case measure.
Okay. Rouse it up, friend.
That's not the right chat to roll that in.
Welcome to Philly by Night, Emissary table, where choices are always made.
Where I'm still getting used to navigating the chats.
Choices, yes, choices.
That's okay. We all are.
Hunger unchanged.
Yay!
So Sharky's actually going to what Sharky's gonna do is he's going to walk over to the door. As he's walking, obviously the other two would see his fangs start to extend down. And then he stands behind the door and says, "Is this a delivery or a pleasure call?"
Bit of both.
Ashton, at that, mouths the words to Sharky. Put them away.
Sharky's going to stand behind the door and just slowly inch it open so that way whoever it is can come inside.
And he's just gonna waltz right in with a
Slams
briefcase.
the door.
A briefcase that looks like it is absurdly heavy.
Once he's inside, door slammed behind him.
That is good mahogany.
I know. I own 10% of it.
Ah, so you are not from Polaris then.
No, Noxious Holdings.
Eh, one wondered.
So, what is this about? First, allow me. We seem to be strangers. Knox, Sharky Knox.
So many of you have such interesting names.
And yours?
The Spartan prefers if I go by the a title that he has chosen, I suppose. I am called the sommelier.
So you're the sommelier. Come, sit. As his fangs shrink back into his mouth, as no longer he sees this man as a threat. We have much to discuss, Mr. Sommelier.
This is this thing that you do with your teeth.
It's a genetic condition. He's being treated for it by yours truly. Do you want me to roll for that? Roll a
If you're
bullshit check?
if you go die, you gonna roll for it, not
Can I
Oh,
please give Beck an assist?
you
Like, confidently
absolutely
nodding in
may.
agreement.
Yes, you
Because
may give
clearly I'm
her
the
an,
liar of this
you may
group, and
give
yet the good
Dawson
doctor is the one
die.
just lying through their teeth.
I could give an assist die, but honestly, I don't think Sharky's giving an assist die in this moment.
And he has mentioned the Spartan, and all of you have met the Spartan. That was that creepy
Mhm.
armed dude. that met y'all on the first night and took you to where the prince and his consort
Yeah.
were staying.
I just wanted to bite someone to do aggravated damage.
I think with the exception of Beck, we're pretty like between Sharky and Ash, they're pretty like punchy, stabby, stabby.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Sharky's pretty punchy. Sharky rolls
Yeah,
7.
lying to a mother trucker.
I will burn a willpower.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Uh,
That will do it. The He doesn't question anything. Uh, it's not really a look of, yeah, I totally believe you, but there's not a lot of questions there. Of course, he has admitted to being linked to the Spartan and
yes.
to Polaris Holdings. So,
Perhaps ask your Spartan about it if you would. If you are so confused.
eh. Man only answers monosyllabically.
That
So I suppose if you're connected to the Spartan, what are you to him? Business partners? Roommates, even?
Pleasure buddies.
No. We conduct business, not pleasure. And he starts kind of unpacking the valise that he's got handcuffed to one hand. It's weaponry. He's unpacking like shotguns, a couple of pistol grip shotguns, couple of revolvers that have been modified to shoot shotgun rounds.
huh.
Varying kinds of shotgun shells,
Is
some of which seem to be filled with liquid.
Sharky's gonna pick up one of the liquid ones and just sort of look at it. Is
It's
this
it looks like water's in there, like a glass ampule filled with water.
I think I have an idea what that one is, Sharky, but you might not want to get that on you. It might hurt. Just a little.
I figured it was some sort of flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh, no. We color the ones that are filled with piranha solution in a different hue, lest we get them confused.
Wait, that was a joke. Piranha solution?
Yeah, we dye it white.
Intriguing. So, you asked us if we were with Polaris Holdings, and then you're delivering us weapons?
It is. There are some individuals who had the distinct pleasure of doing a bit of a job for me. I understand that those individuals are the smallest percentage of folks that would benefit from the services that I, along with a certain silent partner, offer.
So
Hmm.
this is a business deal, it seems.
It seemed a good opportunity to broaden my word of mouth advertisement.
Intriguing.
After all, to be here, you have some connection to the city. No?
Not entirely wrong.
Who's to say?
Sommelier.
Who's to say we have any connection to the city? Who's to say you didn't just walk into the belly of the beast? Shouldn't you have quantified this with your silent partner before you walked straight into a meeting room full of dangerous individuals?
If you were dangerous to me, I would not have walked in.
So then how much do you know, Mr. Sommelier,
About what?
about the three of us? You,
Oh, I know that you are not particularly a hazard to me, at least not right now. You are needing to keep something of a clean nose. Yes.
so you know more than you let on.
There are those that I work with who are adept at gathering information.
Impressive.
They can
Ash
be.
is, Ash is just scrutinizing everything he says.
All that double speak. What the shit?
Yeah, can I roll an insight check?
You absolutely can roll an insight check.
Yet again, he needs a subtext specialty. I think I might pick that up.
Okay.
5 successes and I blew a will.
Shit.
Leave it to the damn snake to have a very minimal insight pool, but roll really well on it.
Shit, son. Yeah, no, he's absolutely doing the double speak.
Mhm.
It's fairly clear that he does at least some work for the prince, the court, and the city.
Mm.
So he
Mhm, mhm.
probably has about as much information on the three of you as the three of you have on the court.
Gotcha. So Ash is gonna sit back down, because he was standing up while this was happening. Kind of look over the sommelier. You definitely know a lot more than you're letting on, for sure. So what exactly made you decide to want to deal with us three?
Oh, well, with Noxious Holdings buying a part of a claim in this casino where I run a large portion of my business, there is a saying about the enemy of one's enemy. See?
You need us
So are
to
you
fix a
wanting us to
problem
help you
for you.
target?
These these things I make, these things that are made and assembled by a certain silent partner, they they are they are shiny. There are those who have a larger controlling stake in this establishment that can make things that seem almost magic by comparison. It is almost unfair to bring alchemy to a gunfight.
Hmm.
So you're wanting us to deal with it, in simplest terms, is what I'm hearing.
Eh, perhaps just make sure that these stakeholders are not a threat to either my business or yours, Mr. Knox.
Hmm. So do you want them permanently removed from the board, or do you want them neutralized? 'Cause there
I
is a
need
difference.
them to cease being a threat to my business interests. If this can be done by way of negotiation,
But
this is probably preferable to destruction, right?
Hmm.
So what exactly are we going to either A, blow up, or B, negotiate with?
Uh, these are things like you see.
Interests.
Not
Doctors, businessmen.
yes. Of course, this is what I mean. I, of course, would not consider referring to you by nocturnal means, considering the genetic condition.
So then you are aware. Lovely. We can stop speaking in code.
These are like you, but not
Hmm. When you
lesser.
say
So what exactly lesser? And
lesser,
you use the word alchemy. Are you talking about... No. Is he talking about thin bloods?
He is
Like a
absolutely
thin blood?
talking about thin bloods.
Oh, bloody. Oh, that's great. I see what you mean by bringing alchemy to a gunfight. All right, well, I hope talking to works, because definitely don't want to have that relive that memory in Prague. That was a terrible time and took me forever to get rid of the sunburn.
I mean, I'm certain we can just remove their heads. They're all the same. If they're really lesser, then they shouldn't be too hard.
Oh, Sharky, you sweet summer child.
those those that are highest place are more likely to look kindly upon a negotiation.
So negotiate first, turn violent when it goes south. At least make an appearance fine.
Yes.
But you wouldn't have brought us
You
weapons
seem
if you
to
didn't
have...
expect it to go south.
Oh, this was by way of introduction. Would you have believed I was who I said I was, and that my business is what I say it is, without the display?
Hmm. I could believe you were a representative of Orthea LLC, but that you were the sommelier, perhaps not. Your point is made. What do you think, Dr. Beck?
What was that, Mr. Sharkey? What do I think on what?
I don't think Dr. Beck was paying attention the whole time, Sharky.
These are some nice knickknacks. These doohickeys are just so shiny.
Next, you're going to start talking about thingamabobs, Dr. Beck. We have a task to do negotiations. So I think we should do it. I think it would be easy. And Sharky, you have so little faith in my ability to talk to people. He smiles wryly ever in Sharky's direction.
It's not that I don't have faith in your ability to speak, Mr. Vanguard. It's more of the fact that I have a feeling I know how business negotiations go. Because that's what this will be. It'll be a business negotiation. It will be us attempting to convince them to sell. It's not going to go well. These things take months. If you want someone permanently removed from the board, you have to take everything from them. And for people like us, the only way to take everything from someone is to, well,
I'm sure that there's something that they want that we can possibly acquire for them.
Also, Sharky, you very much underestimate the power of social warfare. And quite frankly, I'm quite good at it.
if you can,
He smirks.
if you are better at social warfare than I am at economic warfare, I'll be impressed, Mr.
Oh, well,
Vanguard.
the two are intrinsically tied together, so I think if we can't get him to sell, I don't even think we have to kill the young thing. I think we might just be able to manipulate his way out of losing what he has.
Hmm. I
But that's a
suppose.
conversation for a more private area. Kind of glancing over at the sommelier.
Oh, right. Um, that that said, I'll just be.
You
And
have
he
a good
just
day
kind of
now, Mr. Sommelier.
he just kind of scuttles. And what's
Does he
left
take the
on the
briefcase with him?
he does. It's handcuffed to his arm. But he does leave
Does
3
he forget to
business
close it?
cards.
Does stuff fall out?
He's not terrified.
Because
He's
he just
just
well, oh, they want me to leave. Let me panic leave in a hurry because now they want me to leave. Just grabs the thing.
oh, it's
Anyway.
mostly just they want it's time for me to go. Okay. So across the bottom of the table are 3 what appear to be casino chips,
Mm.
and the casino chips appear to be his business card.
Interesting. Interesting choice.
And there is a suite number written on the chips. Presumably that would be where you can find the man.
Hmm. So here's the plan. Vanguard. Dr. Beck. Vanguard, I want you to convince them to sell their shares to me for a modest price. Because of what they see moving forward. Because the prince is here. And I have some level of leeway. We have, as a coterie, some level of leeway with the court that they don't have. They refuse to sell. Well, try to convince them. At least I think that's the best course of action. Dr.
Excellent.
Beck?
I'll be more than happy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Vanguard.
I was going to say, I think that might be the best course of action. Because I really don't want to murk the poor guy, or gal, or non binary entity. So,
Besides being from Sanctuary, you would all be very well aware of how the typical Camarilla city treats the Duskborn.
Not well. So giving them a chance at getting out might be friendly.
Giving them a chance of getting out or getting in good with the prince or with Sanctuary.
mm-hmm. I have plans for that
I.e.,
conversation.
we know a place you can go where they will accept you.
Mm-hmm.
Something they want. Yes, Mr. Shockey, what was that you want me to do, I suppose?
Well, I was going to ask, what would you prefer to do in this situation, Dr. Beck?
Well, first off, see what their situation is, their current situation is within this city. After that, I'm sure we have the resources to give them something they want, i.e., some form of protection, maybe, a level up in status. Who knows?
Question out of character.
Go.
I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. Never mind. I forgot my question. It came and it went. Sorry.
Your mind is like
That's
lightning. One brilliant flash and it's gone.
gone. Yeah. I'll think of it and
But yeah,
I'll put it in my chat.
Oh,
but
heavens.
my goal for
Oh, I
this
remember.
evening and go ahead.
I remembered what it was. Given Ashton's experience in Europe and Egypt and with Sanctuary, I'm imagining he's met several different Thin Bloods, right?
He probably has. Thin Bloods, Nosferatu, and Caitiff would be fairly common in Sanctuary,
Okay. Okay.
regardless of
Go
who's
ahead.
running that particular one.
The Sanctuary. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. That's going to set up for something else. It'll be relevant, I promise. Go ahead, Das. My apologies.
It's all right. But my goal for this evening and future evenings is not die, preferably. Mr. Sharkey.
This is a good goal.
Well, that's my plan as well. I don't want to die either. Which is why we are going at this from a negotiation perspective. For now.
I think, considering our little station, as it were, I think it might be nice to have one of those little alchemists there. Personally.
And I would agree, Mr. Vanguard. It would be of much use and help in research and other stuff of this little phenomena that have been cropping up over the city. I would like an
Indeed.
assistant,
Also,
is basically what I'm saying.
I mean, that's up to you and the Thin Blood. However, my thought is, not only does it offer them protection, considering a lot of the people who were here at a certain point were still never renounced their memberships, therefore still follow the same rules. I think it's an excellent selling point. What do you think, Sharky?
Hmm. Well, I think I think we're not actively recruiting. I think we're never actively recruiting.
T-
And it's kind of hard to extol the virtues of a system when we can't talk about it actively with the person. I think we should not use sanctuary as since the three of us, you can say that. I think we should not use sanctuary as a crutch in this moment. It can be our ace in
So
the
we tried
hole.
to ingratiate him to the So we tried to ingratiate him to the tower and the prince and hope the prince finds him useful. Is that the angle you want to take with this, Sharky?
I'm
Not
merely
arguing, but
saying,
wanting to make sure I know exactly where to put my talking points.
I'm merely saying we can't rely on the system as a talking point because we have to talk around it. We can vaguely reference it, but we can't give any specifics. We can't give any details. We can't tell him who to talk to, and we have to hope and pray that he believes us when we're being what's the word what's the word that the young mortals use? Sketchy as fuck.
I still don't know what that means. The Urban Dictionary has honestly failed me in this moment. Yes, I do spend time reading Urban Dictionary, Sharky.
I
What
can
is
tell
that?
So
you
many wonderful terms.
the it's it's a website, Dr. Beck. It's a website where people put words like in
Oh,
a
it's on that
dictionary.
box thing that people tap on like a typewriter.
Yes, one of the cellular devices.
Got you.
I had a very young intern once try to teach me how they worked. Um, the Urban Dictionary, however, is one I'm very well acquainted with because I have they call it a laptop. It's great. It's like one of the do you remember when NASA was building spaceships to the moon allegedly? They they had
No, I
those
don't remember that.
well, I'm still not convinced, but they said it they indeed said it happened. But they had these big boxes that could do
Sharky.
math.
Sharky. Sharky. You mean you don't believe in the moon landing? What in the bloody hell is wrong with you?
Look,
I may be a snake, but at least I have a brain cell.
look. Once you've seen enough Camarilla propaganda, you know something's got to be made up. And I guarantee you there's some
And
elder
you've
Toreador somewhere who got who got their kicks out of pretending that they landed on the moon.
All right. Anyways,
so it definitely sounds like we have a plan, but I guess we need to figure out who the Thin Blood actually is.
Yes. Well, apparently he's a majority shareholder. So,
How fortuitous. You gonna dig out your financial records, Sharky?
let's dig out the financial records. And he
I would
throws
like an intelligence and finance, please.
That's a good roll for Elmo.
I know it's a good roll for Elmo.
Do I get my specialty?
You absolutely do, because you would know how to read all of these loan applications, etc.
I don't
You'll be
believe
able
he
to
has a
read
high
through and
intelligence
get.
score. I don't believe he has a high intelligence score because he thinks the moon landing is fake.
The harpy is going to love Sharky.
Because of how dumb he is?
I'm gonna spend a willpower. That is 6 successes.
Okay. 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 I see your 6. How fortuitous. A lot of these financial records for this particular stakeholder, or rather group of stakeholders, wow, they're really not good at this whole masquerade thing. Like, Orthea was pretty brazen, but Duskborn Industries?
Oh god. The prince is gonna have a field day with this.
And the address backtracks to a couple of suites on the penthouse level of this hotel.
Isn't there like a what I don't know a lot of Camarilla law. I don't know a lot of Camarilla law, but isn't there like a tradition that like says that like the top the masquerade, the silence of blood, the masquerade, that thing isn't like everything else like, subservient to that, and you can violate every other law to protect that thing. Yeah, this is one of those times where they're really, really on the verge of breaking that first law. So I think we could do whatever we wanted to them, and the prince. We have an argument now. This is bad. If I see this, you know who else sees this? The IRS. You know who else is looking at these
Sharky.
records?
Sharky. We're right here. You don't need to yell.
You know what happens when the IRS gets involved with any of us?
Oh, that's usually how we get a hunter or two. I had that happen back in Italy. It was quite the ravishing time.
That's how the IRS sends the Secret Service, because that's their military. Like it guards the president, but that's not what they do. That's not what they actually do. They're really they hunt us. They send the Secret Service to come kill us.
You really sound like a full-on conspiracy theorist, Sharky.
The
Except this time I know
IRS.
the second thing is correct. Do you want a little tinfoil hat to go with all of that as well? I think it would quite fit your vibe you have going on this evening. I believe I used that term correctly.
The IRS
Not
kills.
really.
The IRS kills us.
Wait,
This is bad. I think they need to go away from the financial world altogether. Just no more money. No more money for them.
Mr. Sharkey, are you adept in making the paper trail disappear, so to speak? Are you adept at the tippy tappy of the typewriter device?
I'm not so good at the computer, but I can talk to some of my banking friends and get it, sort it out, make it look like it never really happened. Make it, incorporate it. If I purchase if I purchase Duskborn Industries and wipe it away as a subsidiary of Noxious Holdings, talk to some of my banking friends that look like Duskborn Holdings never even existed, even to the IRS. It'll look like it was just a some minor holdings company for a couple of low level investors. Is a lot of low level investors, a lot of retail investors will like try to form a holdings company to like make things a little easier for them.
All right.
So maybe we just oust him that way, and if that doesn't work, then we go have a conversation. If that doesn't work, we can, take care of it the other way. How does that sound, Sharky? This, the first part of this definitely seems like your wheelhouse for sure.
It might
Or
occur
maybe
to Sharky that it would be a little easier if they were willing to sell.
It would be a lot easier if they were willing. It wouldn't be as easy if they disappear. Buying something off of them looks a little like yeah. Oh, see, here's the thing. If they disappear, their stuff goes on auction. I have to buy their stuff on auction from the government, which means the government has to get more involved than they already are in our financial like have you ever dealt with an auction from the government because people have debts they need to pay? Have you ever done that?
Anyways, you said they were
no.
on the penthouse of this building. Is that
That is
correct?
correct. That is correct.
Doug's gonna start walking towards the door.
Yeah, Ashton has gotten up. Sharky's lost his damn marble the one half marble that he had. Ashton's going up to talk to the guy, gal, or non-binary pebble person.
Sharky is he has not lost his marble. He is just astounded that someone can be this stupid.
I'm really surprised. Ashton is also really surprised considering he is that level of stupid, just in a different way, for sure.
Well,
So is Sharky coming with us?
Sharky's coming with, puffing out his chest, looking big and scary, which he is big and scary because he's got big rippling muscles because he's his own repo man. Uh, um,
Ash is trying to dance around the lights, looking for the elevator.
it's a casino. It's dimly lit.
Those damn slot machines, man.
Yeah, those are loud, noisy, and bright, but like there are no
Yeah.
clocks, there are no windows.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty good, vampire haven.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
Uh,
can't we find the elevator?
Yes, you can find the elevator. It's
Okay.
not even like it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
because, ADA requirements, you just follow the signs.
Mr. Sharky, do you have the thing to let us go up to the top?
You mean a key card?
Sure.
Sharky would, in fact, have a key card.
Sweet.
Vroom!
Doot. Doot. Doot, 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 doot.
Does he actually hit all of the floors? Does he actually do that?
He doesn't
I
hit
need to
all of the
know that.
floors, but the last 10 he definitely hits.
Ashton looks at him with a look of disgust.
And, as you slowly get up there is only one, like, giant suite of rooms that the penthouse makes up.
Gesundheit.
Huh. Well, this is interesting.
So are we just, like, gonna knock, or
If nobody stops him, Dr. Beck's gonna walk right up to the door and knock, knock, knock. He's done.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Knox's company.
Representatives of Noxious Holding LLC.
Yeah, that.
Okay, hold on. And there is the sound of like 47 different locks being fiddled with. Like this is security taken to a whole other level. All you hear are various chains being drawn back, 6 or 7 deadbolts. The door opens a crack. At least one chain is still activated. You can hear it go thunk.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm down. You're gonna need to. There
Hello.
you go. This individual probably stands about 4'2".
Well, shorter than expected.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hi.
It's a
We
pleasure
weren't
to meet you.
we weren't expecting any deliveries.
We're more here to talk.
Oh. To who?
Dr. Beck will look at Mr. Knox because he was not paying attention.
We're here to talk to. Was there a name? Well, we're here to talk to the executives of Dustborn Holdings.
Oh.
This is a business meeting.
Oh. Were we expecting you? Did we forget?
There was a letter sent, although you may have missed it. It was sent.
If you gonna lie, you gonna roll for it, bucko. You roll for that lie.
Can I roll it as an intimidation? There was a letter sent, but you may have missed it.
Manipulation, intimidation. Our muscle-bound gangrel intimidating a 4'2" little person.
Oh, that's gonna
5
go over so
successes on a
goddamn
crit.
well.
Okay.
I didn't even know we could get mail here.
Well, in order to run a holdings company, you need to be able to get mail.
Oh.
Also, it's a residence. It legally has to have a mailbox if you're planning to stay here.
He's not incorrect.
Adele, do we have a mailbox? And there are voices going back and forth trying to determine whether there is in fact a mailbox.
Sharky is really thinking about kicking this door down. Sharky is really thinking about kicking this door down right now.
Okay, you can come in, but you have to stay in the parlor until I can get everybody else.
All right, that's disagreeable. Thank you.
The door shuts, and there's another 3 or 4 chains. And then the door opens. And this is not a child. This is legitimately just this is a little person.
Jamie Knox. And he holds out his hand to the small one.
Kit Morgan.
Wonderful to meet you.
Okay.
And they're just gonna little people off, pointing out the parlor.
Beck will go and have a seat.
Can I get a wits and awareness from all three of you?
100% you can.
That is not a good pull for me.
It's not a good pull for Elmo. That's
It's not a
okay.
good pull
This
for
is
Emil.
this is a sliding scale.
Okay, I
One
forgot to add the
success.
hugger, but yeah, that's one success.
4 successes.
Okay, so for our one successes, there is a faint chemically smell on the air. For
That
our 4
tracks.
successes, uh, it's you can name large parts of what you can smell. Sulfur is a large part of it, but
Okay.
so is formaldehyde.
Do you want me to roll a academics check to see if I could figure out what is being made utilizing those compounds?
Yes, I would say feel free to roll an int academics or int medical.
Okay, I have academics with a medical specialty.
Ooh, I like it. Do that then.
I'll do medicine instead. I take it back.
It's got the better pool.
Oh, yeah.
Medicine is such a fun pool. So many ways to poison people.
That's 7 successes.
Okay. Damn, Dr. Beck.
He's a doctor.
So, there are several different kinds of explosives and incendiaries and pyrotechnics that can be made with the things you're smelling. There are also several types of designer drugs that can be made with some of the things you are smelling.
Okay. He's just going to take note of that and sit down. He's not going to mention anything while he's in their hotbed.
So, like, after a good few minutes, the little person comes back in with like 6 other individuals.
It's a
When
pleasure to make y'all's acquaintance.
when they come in, Sharky's gonna go into boardroom mode and stand up and hold out his hand to each of them to shake.
You will get shakes from all but one.
Jamie Knox, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. It's a great evening. Thank you, all of you.
Can I insight check the one that didn't shake his hand?
You may.
Dr. Beck, continuing to sit on the sofa, just relaxed, is also going to insight check the other person or the people, if possible.
There are 5 individuals, 3 men, 2 women. One of the women is a little person. The other of the women is the one that did not shake Sharky's hand. They are dressed in scrubs, wearing a surgical cap.
Mm-hmm. The one I'm the most interested in then. Would that be? It's insight and
I would
what
say
else?
wits and insight.
Wits. Okay, I wanted to make sure before I.
It's the
So
vibe check.
okay. That's 5 on a messy crit, and I've already spent the willpower to try to fix it, but it didn't work.
And that's a 3 for me.
Uh, Doc, with your medical specialty, chances are very good this individual does not shake hands because they work almost exclusively with them. You
Mm,
would be very well aware that it is a typical surgeon's quirk to do whatever they have to do to protect their hands.
yes, being a surgeon himself, you would know.
Ashton, you get the same idea, though maybe not as much from a medical standpoint. You did, however, used to live with a bunch of Ravnos, and at least a couple of them are big instrument players, and they would do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. They would avoid anything that might possibly bring damage to their money makers, i.e., the hands.
Right. Okay.
And I am going to striketh thee with essentially the knowledge hungry flaw as a compulsion.
Okay. What is the knowledge that he is trying to gain?
What the fuck is up with these guys? Like, what's
Say
with
that
this
again. I'm
little
sorry.
gang? What's up with these guys? What's up with this gang here? Like, what is their vibe?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're clearly not hiding very well, so, like, what's the deal?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He is gonna defer to Sharky and let Sharky talk, and he's gonna listen for a little bit before he asks his questions.
So, am I correct in assuming that the six of you are the owners of Duskborn Holdings?
Yes?
Come, sit. We have to speak. My name is Jameson Knox. I am founder of Noxious Holdings LLC. And I am much like you. And he is going to activate his Eyes of the Beast. Close his eyes, open them with the eyes of a feral beast. We, the three of us, are much like you in what you are. We have come to speak today because we are afraid for you, as it seems as with the name Duskborn Holdings, you may have committed what our superiors would consider a bit of a oopsie daisy, a bit of a oopsie poopsie, as the youths say. And I personally think that obviously if you've managed, the six of you, a small coterie like yours has managed to produce such results so quickly, well, obviously that must mean that you are all very talented and skilled, which means you only need a mentor. So, I have come to offer you warnings and perhaps aid for the future. How much do you know about our society?
Mostly that your society looks down on us unless we're useful.
Well, not our part of the society, but that's one.
That's a different can of worms there.
Yeah.
Our society, the three of us, do not. However, we are not the dominant force in this city. Yet.
We saw what the city will do to their own, let alone outsiders.
Ah, there's the rub. Through a bit of a diplomatic through a bit of a diplomatic how can we say this? A diplomatic
Through
faux oh, go ahead, Mr. Vanguard.
through a little bit of diplomacy, we've seemed to manage to make sure that our part of society is protected from the greater society as a whole and their opinions of certain things.
As long as we stay within the lines, we don't have to suffer any consequences.
You see, the three of us have a level of immunity, which is why you're very lucky it was the three of us who managed to find you and not, say, one of the other high percentage stakeholders, like the Spartan or the Morning Star. Speaking with us three is best opportunity because we don't hate you for irrational reasons like they do.
So they have rational reasons to hate us.
No, we don't have any reason to hate you. I said they hate you for irrational reasons. Some of them hate you for religious reasons, which is not rational.
They're all superstitious, timey-wimey people, End
Eh,
times are coming.
But we'd hate to see that, regardless of what society thinks of us, my particular family has that same issue within that part of society. But the bigger issue is how familiar are you with the term masquerade and what can happen if it is broken?
you you mean like a mask?
Oh,
Not in the
you all.
ball sense.
How long have you six
Under the
been
influence of this condition.
And they'll talk amongst each other for a little bit, and you can see a couple of them like counting on their fingers. Uh, well, Adele's been like this longest, and she only has about 11 months.
so under a year? Well,
Were
the
all of you brought into this condition at the same time?
No,
Oh, good.
because Smiley, and he's pointing down at the little person. Smiley's only been like this for about 3 months.
So, the other big issue that we kind of noticed is the fact the name of your Holden's company may draw some attention to things you might not want to deal with, like people in the precondition we suffer from wanting to get rid of us.
Eh,
Which is part of the reason why most people have an issue with the breaking of a mask, as it were.
okay.
It
Our?
refers to keeping keeping our natures hidden.
So keeping you all who can't blend safer.
Oh no, we
And
can blend.
yourselves as well.
That applies to you.
We can blend. That's the thing. We can blend almost as well as you can. Some of you may be able to walk in the sun, and that may be something that you can do that's a little better than we can.
And
But
there are
we
three of them that just kind of put their hands up at this.
can
Is one of
blend.
them the doctor?
One of them is the doctor, yes.
I figured, yeah.
We're trained our entire lives to know how to blend. And many of us have been at it for a really long time. The difference is, however, that while we may know how to blend in with society, we have an understanding based on our education. I just can't keep this accent up today. We have an understanding based on our education that we can we know not only how to influence things but how to keep our noses clean, as it were. Because education, especially 30 years of it, in some cases 40 in some, in my case none, and then very quickly 10, 20, 30, somewhere in there. I don't know. I lost count. I wasn't really counting. Makes all the difference.
So, and this is when the person in the scrubs kind of steps out a little bit. What exactly is it that you're offering?
Well, for one, do you like it here?
Define here.
This casino. Would you like to stay?
We've been safe here.
I can tell you, if you keep your name as Duskborn Holdens, you won't be very safe for much longer. For a few reasons. First of all, while you talk about our society, well, there's a few people who are in charge. One of whom is called the Prince. This Prince, well, if he finds out your name is Duskborn Holdens, which is a bit of a breach of the mask, as they say it. I like to call it a breach of the silence of blood, but that's just me. Don't ever tell anyone that I called it that. Um, if he finds out that you breached this mask, he's gonna be all over your asses in a matter of minutes, and he can kill the three of us like easy. And we are two of us are some of the best fighters. I don't know about Dr. Beck. I think they can defend themselves. Can you defend yourself?
Let's not find out, shall we?
I like that response. Uh, we're three of probably the best fighters that this city has seen in a while. Well, maybe not. I don't know about. They did manage to do a coup. Also, they're ruthless. They definitely killed the last one. So, with
Doctor, do you have a residency in one of the hospitals nearby?
Yes.
What department do you work in?
I'm in training to be a medical examiner.
All right, well, doctor, I, I just so happen to own a practice of my own, seeing as I am also a surgical doctor. And having another in my employ would be greatly appreciated. You wouldn't have to hide nothing. It would be a lot easier to get what y'all need.
So you're offering employment where we don't have to hide what we are, and safety from those above you.
Correct.
What are you asking for?
Well, first off,
I need an assistant. That's what I'm asking for.
in their case, they need an assistant. I'm going to ask you to sell off Dustborn Holdings to me so that way I can get it to my banker and he can make it look like it never existed to begin with. Both my influence and his can make it go away. And then you won't have to worry about the prince or even worse, the IRS showing up.
So you're going to glue the mask back together?
Pretty much. As much as it pains me to do so, yes.
I would rather not see you lot randomly attacked by a bunch of hunters.
Or worse,
I wouldn't
the
want them
government.
there either.
Or the government hunters, because that is a thing.
That's a really bad
Learned that
thing.
lesson the hard way.
They all look very confused. It is
Think of Van Helsing.
Sharky, this would hit you particularly hard. Because whatever happened to these people, they have no education. And considering Sharky's start in his nocturnal existence,
What I'm offering you, Six, is an education. So that eventually you six can be released. You can go off on your own and be successful at whatever the fuck it is you want to do. Like I was. But I need you to listen to me. Because if you just stay here like you are now, you're going to get fucking shot.
Or worse.
There's a lot worse.
So many terrible things. And quite frankly, we'd rather see you lot do well to prove a point.
I do have one question for you all, though, if it would not bother you to answer this. Do y'all know who brought this condition upon you? Was it the same person?
That's hard to say. The memories are fuzzy.
As if you were in an addled state?
If you have dominate as part of your skill set,
Let me check.
I do. You should.
what they describe is sounding an awful lot like cloud memory.
I do, and yeah.
Your
They
memory.
have all of their memories up to a certain point, and then something happened, and there's about a 10 to 30 minute blank spot, and now they're this.
Mm.
Cloud
And some
memory.
of them have fangs they can't put away. Some of them can no longer exist in daylight.
So here's what we're going to do. Here's what I can do for you. I can offer you protection. I can offer you not domain. I can't offer you that. That's Prince doing. and offer you safety, and I can attempt to keep this hotel under wraps. And if you sell me the shares, I can make certain that because I am an emissary, and some of the members of the court have a diplomatic pact with me, they can't actively go out of their way to try to take them from me. And in return, I need you to listen to me. And if I say, jump to make the court like you, you jump.
What guarantee do we have that we sell you our stock and you don't just take it and sell us up the river?
Because I won't let it happen.
Nor would I. I have nothing to do with his financial holdings, but at the very least, I can make sure that you lot is taken care of.
Sharky sits back in his chair. I give you my word, and my word is my bond. That is the code that I live by, the path I walk down. I would not betray my path more than I betray the air that the kind breathes.
And they'll kind of huddle up and just like there's rabble just murmuring like fuck. And you guys weren't the ones who burnt out the ugly ones?
No,
No,
Did what?
actually.
What happened? Was I in my lab at the time?
Like you, but ugly.
no,
We're
Oh, no. We didn't do nothing to them. We worked for one of them.
Rabble. And the little person is going to stand up on a table and look Sharky directly in his eyeballs. Say that thing you said again.
my word is my bond, and the bond is what I owe. I would not betray my word because it's the path I walk down, and I would not betray it any more than the kind would betray the air that they breathe.
And then she's gonna jump off the table, walk back over to the huddle, say some stuff. And then they're all gonna just kind of turn and be like, deal. But we get to stay here.
You get to stay here, at least for the time being. I can't stop the prince if he decides to do something, but I'm going to keep your presence a secret. But, like I said, if the court moves and I tell you to do something, you have to listen.
Is that gonna get you in trouble?
I gave you my word that I would protect you.
Right. What I'm saying is, it sounds like maybe the best long term solution is to make sure the court is okay with us.
That may take
We
some
will.
time.
Diplomatic overtures don't usually happen overnight with those kinds of people, so it's going to take some time and finagling on our end, but much like Sharky, I'm happy to help with that.
Okay.
We're
Y'all
willing to
need,
work. Since you're willing to work with us, we're willing to work with you.
y'all need to
Just under.
remember this one thing. Time doesn't mean nearly as much to them as it does to you at this moment.
Okay.
Things take a lot more time for those that are alive at night.
Especially the older ones.
And the court are older ones?
Some of them,
Indeed.
from what I've gathered. Not all of them are super old. Old is relative when you have been around for a while. Right, Sharky?
Some of them are younger than me, some of them are older than me. All of them are dangerous.
I mean, all of us are dangerous too.
Indeed.
I don't want to sound conceited, but I could probably break your arm. Some of these people have flesh that literally turns to stone.
Oh, you could probably break it off, but it would grow right back.
With time. You know what they can do? They can also do that, but they can also punch holes straight through your chest. Or just flick their fingers and your head will go flying into that wall.
So, is it true that we're allergic to garlic?
Some of us
That's
have that affliction.
No.
complicated.
Eh,
Avoid pointy wooden things that go here.
That's a universal allergy. Piece of wood in your chest.
It doesn't kill
Fire.
you. Well,
Shouldn't kill you.
I don't know about you six. It doesn't kill us.
right.
Fire. Fire is also scary. Stay away from fire.
And some of you have probably noticed that your flesh burns in the sunlight. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
those three.
Don't go out in the sun. Don't do that. Just do yourself a favor. Even if you can, don't. Just don't. Just trust me. Just don't.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
worth it.
Okay.
Um am I missing anything, Dr. Beck?
Uh, stay away from fire. Stay away from sharp, pointy wood. Stay away from the sun. And the myths may or may not pertain to you individually.
Okay.
Some of
It's
us
a it's different on a personal level for everyone.
some of us have individual effects. So for instance, when I get really hungry, I start to bleed more than a man on a cross.
That seems counterproductive.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? It doesn't make sense to me either. But here I am. I get really hungry. My palms have little dots in them. Apparently, it's got something to do with like religious trauma. I don't know. Some of us have it, some of us don't, but it's all religiously related. Um, can you tell I grew up in church? Uh,
Just know that the weird things don't affect everyone in that way.
no.
Much how like some of you can walk in sunlight and others can't.
Okay. So, how exactly were we supposed to figure any of this out?
Well, you're supposed to be
Well,
Usually
taught.
the ones who bring you into this world are supposed to be the ones who teach you. Regardless of political affiliation, that's something that's usually pretty consistent.
And even when it's not, like for instance, I was what was known as a shovel head. Again, another secret that has to be kept here. which meant that I was embraced and just left for the dead. It's kind of a gangrel thing. Gangrel will just leave their child or and see if they survive. Um, I was embraced and left to survive for about 10 years on my own as I broke people's necks and took their blood, and it was all fine because I was scared and I hid from people. Most other gangrel die. I survived, and now here I am. In my opinion, because of what my clan does, you six were left to fight on your own, and you survived, and now you've been found by somebody who's going to take care of you. As far as I'm concerned, you're each members of my clan. So, I'm going to teach you how to survive.
And Doctor, um, I didn't get your name, by the way.
Uh, Alexis, uh, Drake.
Dr. Drake? All right, Dr. Drake. Well, I have about 11 female patients, multiple of which are in a delicate condition. And if you would like to assist with that, it'd be of the utmost gratitude. I don't know if you've had any specialization training in OB.
I did a couple of rotations.
Well, that's more than what I've got. I'm doing my best with my general knowledge.
And she's gonna look down at the little person. Smiley's a midwife.
Perfect. Both of you can come under my employ and assist me with
Any of,
these patients.
any of you wouldn't happen to have any financial um, interests in nightclubs and things of that nature?
Oh, doing our financials and stuff is Nick's job.
I am looking for an accountant. I pay well.
Okay.
And do either of you have any like security knowledge? Like good at shooting things?
There is one of them that looks like he is just built like a brick shithouse, and immediately 5 pairs of eyes go to that guy. Luther.
You're the one who I'm going to introduce to my to the rest of my clan because they might actually believe that you can handle yourself. You're going to be the representatives for the pack growing. Got it?
I mean, as long as it doesn't take a whole lot of talking.
My family don't tend to talk much. It's one of my problems with them.
Mr. Knox is what we like to call a black sheep of the flock.
Uh,
I also like breaking people's noses, but only if they owe me.
Nick, here's my telephone number, and he hands him a business card, and it has his mask name and his telephone number on it. It's It says Alexander Fitzgerald on it, and the name of his nightclub.
And Dr. Beck will go ahead and give to the midwife his business card for his clinic.
Sharky's gonna look at them and be like, "None of you need my business card. None of you want to owe me money." So,
Please
you
don't huck Sharky out of a tree.
or do, but you might also find yourself falling out of the tree and landing on the ground with Sharky on top of you.
uh, no, Sharky will be meeting Ms. Dillard before too long. The harpy, she's gonna love you.
And I'm gonna love the harpy.
So with that, the emissaries have managed to negotiate with a pack of the Duskborn, of Duskborn Incorporated. And now 4 of the 6 of them are employed in various aspects of emissary business. I will write down the names of the ones that you guys have kind of went bloop.
I appreciate that.
I'm totally gonna
Including you, Sharky.
make this guy the head of my security personnel. Great plan. And now I own another casino.
Not the entire thing.
Well, now I've gone from 10%. Would this make him a majority stakeholder now?
You have gone from 10% to approximately 40%.
So enough that Sharky is now on the board is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So he effectively owns 2 casinos now.
Well, I mean, he shares this one with Polaris.
Still pretty impressive.
So Sharky is the 40-ish percent to Polaris Holdings 25, and Orthea LLC's 30,
Oh,
with other smaller groups making up the rest.
so
Yes, you are the
Sharky-
majority stakeholder.
how lovely. This is gonna be fun.
Dr. Beck's going to go ahead and step outside and call Bridgerton and let him know that he's coming to the employ of a couple of medical personnel to assist with his delicate issues,
Okay,
his
so
delicate patients.
we are power word blawing to Lord Bridgerton.
Yep.
Is there anything else our brilliant emissaries would like to do this evening?
How does turning the other... You know what? That's pretty much all Sharky plans on doing. The only thing he wants is turning the other casino he owns into a haven, but we can do that in the future.
Yeah. And we can do that in the background in your channel too.
Yeah.
Heh heh heh. Well, ladies, jelly beans, with that, we will bring this rather diplomatic. Oh, what you got, Ashton?
I was just waving bye to the
Oh,
fans.
yes. This rather diplomatic coterie session to a close. Join us next week. Not next week. Join us next month when we have more plans. Ah, ha ha ha. Ah, ha ha. Ah, ha. And before we call it an evening, how about our emissaries tell us who they are and where we can find them when they're not streaming?
Hi, I'm Dosbrunner, and you can find me in all the places under Dosbrunner or Dosbrunner13.
Yay!
Hi, I am John. I am that nerd guy on TikTok. And anywhere else, if you find me, no, you didn't.
Hi, my name is Chandler. I go by Kingdom0905 everywhere but Twitch, where I go by that Warlocko905. And if you see me under any other name or anywhere else, you didn't see me. Stop looking. Please get off my Facebook.
You still have Facebook?
Maybe.
That's for
And
me to know and y'all not to know.
and as always, hi, good day FX. That is GHEDE_FX. Anywhere I want you to find me. That is sus AF, Fen. That is just sus, Fennec. It is sus. I also do a lot of the work for running the at Philly by Night TikTok, so you can find all of the memes. And coming soon, we will have little like serialized, hey, this is what happened last week. As soon as I stop having RSV and actually get on doing that. So, hooray! In the meantime, have a good night and thank you all for putting up with the technical difficulties that came with this being a one sick person show. We absolutely appreciate it.